second review of Paterson because something happened with the recording module. You screwed up. Don't listen to the man behind the curtain. Boris decided to make an appearance today to give me a hard time about messing up the last recording. All your fault. I don't know what happened, but how upset was I when I couldn't find that file?
Very upset.
Oh, man.
It's like the whole world was ending.
And, like, I was going to try and redo it, and I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Just, like, I need at least a day to get past this. And then went to bed and then was thinking, you know, this even happens to Bill Burr. So I didn't bring the laptop, so no intro. You don't care. You just want to listen to us talk. So this is, and you made a good comment. I was pretty, my head wasn't in it on Sunday, was it?
Yeah, we were tired.
Yeah.
It was late, I think. It was really late.
And we ate.
Shouldn't do it. Yeah.
We ate, and that's just like.
It just wasn't a good time. We didn't plan that out very well.
So going forward, we're going to have to do this before we eat. Eating's our treat.
Thumbs up, yep.
So Paterson, your pick. You're going to walk us through it. Jim Jarmusch was our director.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about this later, but was also the director for Ghost Dog. But you picked it because go.
I picked this movie because I liked this movie the first time that I saw it in the movie theater.
No kidding.
I just liked it. It's different than like, I don't know. I don't even know what constitutes a typical movie, but it's slow moving. There aren't a lot of characters. There's not like, you know, fast action or, you know, things like that.
I wouldn't even say there's a straight up, there's a very, very, very loose narrative.
Yes, very loose. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think this is actually coming across better than our first recording, which wasn't a recording. And so far, it says we're 2 minutes in, so
we're good.
Apparently, we'll see. See when we check playback, but. Again, Adam Driver and what's the actress's name? She was also in Body of Lies with Leo DiCaprio.
Her name is a lot of letters that I'm not really sure that I would pronounce well. So
it's an Arab name, I believe.
Yes. You want to try it?
No. Well, all right. I might as well give her props.
You see it.
Where is it?
In the middle, right there.
Good God.
See, that's why I was like, I don't want to.
Kalshife Farahani. Kalshife Farahani. She was the love interest in Body of Lies with Leo DiCaprio. A day in the life of a guy who's a bus driver and aspiring poet. But he's like quiet aspiration, right? He just does it to do it.
Yeah.
And his wife pushes him really hard to publish, and he can kind of give or take it. He just does it because it's a part of who he is.
Yeah, I think it's like his quiet passion, but he also knows that to be in the real world, he has to be working a job and earning an income, whereas his wife's character.
Does she have a name?
Yes, I do believe so.
Well, let's scroll down. And,
she doesn't have a job, and she
has art forms that invoke or utilize black and white.
Laura.
And their meatball dog,
Marvin. Also known as Nellie.
I love dogs, but that one I could have cooked into a pot roast by the end of it. She doesn't work, but she does do the farmer's market thing at the very end, which has, of course, has a place in my heart. But all of her art
and she does well.
Yeah,
she does. First foray into it.
But You know, honestly, if I look at it, the critique of their relationship, I would, you know, I would honestly say it's actually kind of genuine because it doesn't go any of the thing like, you know, she requested him to pay for her to get a guitar, and like you could see how that could be an element of friction.
Yeah.
But like he's like
okay, sure.
He's like, all right. Like you can at first he's like $200.
Yeah.
But then he relents, and then you know it makes her happy, and you would expect in most narratives that she would take advantage of him, but that doesn't really happen.
I don't think so.
Yeah, not really, and it's a very loving relationship, and
I think he loves her so much, like she could almost do no wrong.
yeah,
you know,
definitely. But like, if you're looking for a movie that is, I don't even want to say that it's not fast paced. It's like if you were and not to insult your opinion, but like I told you, the first time I watched it, I got through about 40. I was already drowsy, and it was like visual melatonin for me. You have to be awake.
You really do. You shouldn't watch it at night.
No.
When you're going to bed.
It's more like introspective of someone's. There's a huge portion of the world that has a repetitive cycle to their
daily life.
Yeah, and this is kind of was that. And the nuances of like what you know what, like now that I think about it, he still has passions, right? And so does she. And it's just different degrees to which they exercise them. Like he does his every day, but he doesn't really care about it like becoming.
It's not going to go on beyond him doing it.
Yeah, he's just like, this is my meditation. And her, it's like a component of it becomes her livelihood. For lack of you only see their life for a week, but I'm hijacking again. This was your movie.
She does more with her passions. I mean, first of all, she has several of them, whereas he just like really has his poetry, and he doesn't need or want it to go further than it's just like writing poems in his notebook. Whereas she's like, one day she's like, I would like to get a guitar. I want to learn how to play the guitar. I want to be a country singer. And then another day she's like, I'm going to make 1 million cupcakes, and I'm going to go sell them at the farmer's market. And then I don't know, what are some other things that she does?
Painted. And
she does her art and her like.
She painted the house all in black and white.
Yep, and her clothes.
Yeah, she was a designer, and which was.
They're all fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just
very
saying.
Frenetic, very like all over the place.
Yes.
And he's the, I guess, regimented. Is that, would you say?
I was going to say he's like the more sensible.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with either of what they're doing, but I'm just saying.
And that's probably to illustrate why they work together.
That's true.
So, yeah, like after the first, because I watched this in 2 parts, and after the first part, I was like, why did she pick this? And then I'm like, I'm afraid to turn it on again, because I do kind of like Adam Driver's character, and that he was just calm.
Very
like,
calm.
I don't want anything bad to happen to this
Very
guy. Like
peaceful and quiet.
Yeah. And there's this scene with the people who pull up to him, these kind of thugs, and they're like, I bet that dog's worth a lot of money. Aren't you worried about somebody stealing him? And he's like, I guess I got something to look forward to.
Yeah, that would be the most exciting thing to happen in his life.
And then when he goes to a bar every night, and he parks the dog just outside. I'm like, oh, this is where it's gonna happen,
right?
And like nothing happens. Nothing happens. And spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yep. Whoops.
But
I just like it because it's like it's their everyday life, and even if it's slow and some people might see it as boring, it's like you said before. There are people who live lives like that, and I mean, they're doing fine. It's just not like.
It's funny because like there's that quote about living a life of quiet desperation, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't say Paterson's like that. He does the thing that he cares about, and so does she. So, as promised, a recipe that Louisa will hate. This one is not up on the Instagram, but eventually it will be. If you want to, you can check out some of the other recipe posts at JAY Hey Honey on Instagram. This week, Hot Truffle Honey Pizza. Now, this one did it for me simply because it combines corn and ricotta. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the. Actually, oh, you know what? This is one you would like more than. I take that back. I was going to do a recipe on. I was going to do the one that was all mushrooms and truffles, but this one I just decided at the last minute. So you would like it more than my original pick, except for the truffles.
Okay.
What's your problem with truffles anyway?
I just don't like them.
Thanks for all the depth.
You're welcome.
Super. All
a
right.
chocolate truffle. That would be different.
Not a truffle. Okay. 6-ounce prosciutto, 22-ounce pizza dough, 2 ears of corn, sweet corn preferably, 4-ounce arugula, 4-ounce shredded what?
Nothing.
She's like, oh, arugula.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
The chili pepper of lettuce. It's spicy.
I love arugula.
4-ounce shredded fontina cheese, 1 lemon, 3-ounce radishes, 2 cloves of garlic, 1/2 tablespoon truffle zest seasoning, 2 tablespoons of honey, preferably the chili pepper honey, and you'll see why in a little bit. 1/2 pound fresh mozzarella, 1 bunch chives, 1/2 cup, this is my favorite, ricotta, and 1/4 cup grated Parmesan, 1/4 cup crushed red pepper flakes. This
sounds
pizza,
delicious.
I know, see? Even with the truffle.
Even with.
Is it the arugula that redeemed it for you?
No, it's all like the hot and spicy.
All right, so this is not super complex, and a lot of you can, if anybody out there knows how to make pizza, you could just look at the picture of this online and know how to make it. But for those of you who are novices in the kitchen or
aren't going to make it, but would make it if someone else made it.
Or have their own place and their own kitchen, but no cooking utensils whatsoever, strap in. All right. I love these descriptions of how to prepare food, because it starts out, it just assumes that you can't stand under your own power and that you need like an extra battery to get your brain working, because it'll start out telling you to remove food from the cupboard and from the refrigerator.
Wow.
That's how this is.
That's really helpful.
Yeah, this is Blue Apron talking here. All right, preheat to 475 after you've washed and dried all your produce. Peel and slice thin your 2 cloves of garlic. That's probably going to eat up most of your time. And remove the husks and the silks from the corn. Cut the kernels off the cobs, obviously. Don't get it out of a can. It's going to make a world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
Assemble and bake the pizza. So lightly oil a sheet pan, stretch your dough out to about a 1/4 inch thickness. Drizzle the dough with olive oil, obviously. Cover it then with sliced garlic, the corn kernels, the fontina, and mozzarella. Assuming you're getting the mozzarella in ropes, you're gonna tear it into small pieces before you add it. Season with salt and pepper and drizzle with olive oil. Bake and rotate the pan halfway every 20-22 minutes, somewhere in that neighborhood, or until the cheese is melted, which is probably going to happen before that. Remove from the oven, let stand for a couple minutes. when you have time, when all of your baking dough is going through the voodoo in the oven, you're going to slice radishes into rounds, slice the chives quarter, and dress the lemon. De-seed it, not dress it. In a bowl, you're going to combine the ricotta with half of the Parmesan, and then drizzle olive oil, season with salt and pepper. In a separate bowl from there, you're going to combine the chili pepper honey and truffle zest. Use as much as you'd like. Just remember that truffle is robust in flavor. So the more you use, the more it's going to hit you in the face. And as much of the pepper flakes as you'd like, depending on how spicy you like it. If I make this for Louisa, she's going to want me to use like one of those laundry sacks full of chili pepper.
Or she'll just add her own hot sauce.
But as long as you don't use anybody else's chili pepper honey.
Cool.
Remove the plastic lining between the slices of the prosciutto. You don't really need to say that.
I don't really need to say what.
That you need to remove the plastic lining from the prosciutto.
Yeah. You should.
I don't like... Come on, Blue Apron.
I mean, it's like you said, maybe they
obvious.
just, want to make sure you're awake when you're cooking.
It just seems superfluous. Like, who's going to leave it in there?
I don't know.
Who's going to... Dumb people. They're everywhere. All right. This is the last part. While the pizza rests in a large bowl, combine the arugula, the sliced radishes, the juice of the 2 lemon wedges, and 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Season with salt and pepper, toss to combine, and carefully transfer the baked pizza to a cutting board.
Oh my god!
What is that?
Commercial. Sorry.
What are you? You're killing my recipe.
I'm sorry.
She's
I don't know
taking
why
over.
it's talking.
Okay, everybody,
I don't know how to
just close the browser. This is Louisa destroying the best pizza recipe ever. That you've been bested by your laptop. What are you doing? How are we gonna get to 1 billion listeners with your laptop wrecking everything? I don't even know where I was. Transfer the baked pizza to the cutting board. If that happens again, I'm throwing that thing out the window.
You are not.
Transfer the baked pizza to a cutting board. Evenly top with the seasoned ricotta, the prosciutto, tearing it into small pieces before you add it. Actually, you don't have to. You can throw full slices on there. I'd eat it like that. Then add sliced chives and the hot truffle honey. I personally don't think 2 tablespoons of the hot honey is going to be enough.
Because that's supposed to go on the whole thing?
Yeah.
That's definitely not enough. Yeah,
totally not enough. That's you can be liberal with your addition of the chili pepper honey, and should be. From there, cut the pizza into equal size. But you know how to handle a pizza. Cut it up. I have to read this. Serve it with salad. It's already a salad. You don't have to. Unless your LDL's high, then go crazy. But I would eat that.
Just plain by itself.
I would eat that. I'm going to give you guys a second recipe real quick that for fried corn. I know a lot of people have had it, but Louisa has not, and it does not include honey. But I haven't been able to find out where this recipe was. I made it one time, and it was off the charts delicious. So you take sweet corn, just like in this recipe, you cut all the kernels off, and then separately you get thick cut peppercorn bacon, fry that up like 6 slices of it. You're going to drain off half the grease, pat down the bacon, and crumble it up. Then in the grease, you're going to add the corn and something like 1/4 cup of sugar. And chopped up green, red, and yellow peppers. And you're going to fry that for about half an hour in the bacon grease. You can just feel your blood pressure shooting up, can't you?
I can.
Then you add, towards the end of it, creme fraiche. Oh, so you get this creamy, grilled corn with bacon grease.
Mm-hmm.
Drain off the excess fluid and then add bacon into it. And then you eat it like that. So it's like not like a mash, but it's corn with stuff in it. But it's sweet and bacon. Oh, God. Oh, I could eat this every day. I'd live like a week. But folks, if you can just find a recipe that's even close to that and you've never had fried corn, you can only eat it once a year. And if you have a problem with your blood pressure, just turn this part of the podcast off, but it's worth it. Sounds good, doesn't it?
I was supposed to say that before, but yeah.
Well, look, you know what? Folks out there, look, you're a big kid. You know what you can eat and what you can't. Are we on to the headlines, or did you pick out? Because I have two that I'm looking at.
Yeah, I have headlines.
Oh, you do? Wow. All right, well, bravo. Back in the flesh.